What is going on, everybody, and welcome back into another awesome painting series from Byerly Studios. Now, I'm super excited for this one. Now, I have recently started using a lot of these little round canvases. These are Master Touch canvases purchased from Hobby Lobby, and they've had them on clearance and discount. So I've been really stocking up on these awesome little canvases here. They're made of really good quality canvas, and they're really stout, really deep, and I like how they look when they're hanging on the walls. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off a project with some DOS Airdry Clay today. I'm super excited. Now, using this method that we're about to start here, I have used the method to make like kind of oven baked clay appendages for different types of circular canvases. But what we're going to do here is, in this situation, we're going to use a DOS Airdry Clay. Now, it's going to be absolutely stunning, and it's going to be so fun to be able to create this. I do have my daughter off to the side, and I am doing this on TikTok Live. So I have a few people just kind of hanging out with me on TikTok Live as I go ahead and sculpt all the appendages. For what, you may ask? Yes, we are making a Pokemon. Which Pokemon? Oh, I'll ruin the surprise. You got me. It is going to be Jigglypuff. Now, this is going to be very fun, very kind of quick, but we're also going to kind of engage my kids in the creation process, and I'm going to let my daughter do some of the painting later on and kind of help me design. I caught a few little clips of audio dialogue between me and my daughter, but I decided to just kind of really speed this video up so y'all can really just sit back and enjoy the overall content with a little bit less dialogue in this one. You must also remember that I am also talking to TikTok Live. I do have a few people watching me, and I really do like to converse with them as well. So when I transfer that over to like a YouTube video, some of that dialogue really doesn't translate over because you're not able to read the comments and the dialogue that I'm creating with those patron viewers. As of right now, if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you do so. Make sure you subscribe, hit the like and the notification bell so you can see any of our latest projects as they come out over the next few years. I have a lot in the pipe, and I'm excited to be able to produce quite a few projects for you guys, whether that be canvases, clay, miniatures, 3D printing, any kind of resin work and tumblers. I want to make sure that I'm able to create awesome projects for you guys to enjoy. Whether you're here to learn how to use some of the mediums that I'm using, or just kind of sit back and enjoy the overall creation process when you're laying in bed at night, that's the overall goal, is just to really enjoy what we do in the creation process. So as you can see here, I'm really starting to bring in some of the little swooping motion towards the top of the hair where the Jigglypuff head would be. We're also going to make those two ears at the very top, which actually it does make the canvas overall a little bit top heavy. I did not supplement any kind of aluminum foils into this to kind of reduce the overall weight. So it is a pure DOS Airdry Clay build out. It does weigh quite a bit, so of course we're going to use some very good hanging material and hardware on the back of these canvases to get them hung up on the wall in my daughter's room. Yes, my daughter's going to get this possession of this canvas when we're all said and done, and it's going to be the very first Pokemon that she's going to hang on her wall is Jigglypuff. I do hope you guys really do kind of enjoy the double screen here. This screen on the left hand side is what TikTok Live is seeing, and actually kind of like mirroring the videos, because I kind of paused the YouTube video which is in full screen here quite a bit more often than the TikTok Live. The TikTok Live just continuously rolls, so matching up some of those clips is actually harder than it looks. Just because I videotaped and stopped them in different places, lining them up and then putting them into a time lapse is actually quite a bit more difficult than I thought it would be. But I'm trying to experimenting with different camera angles, kind of changing things up a little bit as I become more and more professional in my recording of my artwork. So I really do hope y'all enjoyed this overall content here and this type of video. If y'all like this type of video where it's kind of picture-on-picture action, make sure you leave in the comments, and I will try to produce more of this type of picture-in-picture content in the future. It's just a different angle, and I really do think it brings a little bit of quality to the overall video format. As you can see there, we are kind of just conditioning some of that DOS Airdry Clay and just applying that in different layers, trying to just get the overall blocking in, the buildup that I need to really start to get it to where I can start really sculpting in some of the details, maybe those little hair follicles and textures, and cut in the ears. But as of right now, we're just going to go ahead and build out some of the blocking in and get the clay actually on the canvas itself, and then we can move on to the next stage. So sit back and enjoy, and I'll catch you back here in a minute. I will pop in here and just notate that yes, I am using water to kind of smooth out some of the clay, just kind of keep it hydrated as well so it doesn't get too brittle and too chalky. I want to kind of keep that smooth until I can kind of build up the overall layers that I need to really start sculpting into the clay. DOS Airdry, Sculpey Airdry, a lot of those kind of tend to chalk up on the upper layers. And it just makes it a little bit more brittle, more susceptible to cracking if you keep working at it. And just applying just a little bit of water to the top surface of that really does keep it moist for longer, and you can really kind of extend the life of the sculpting process and keep on working on it. As long as it stays moist, you're good to go. And then once all this is completely sculpted out, I'll kind of leave it off the beaten path a little bit in the studio, and it actually takes days for it to fully cure. It actually takes so long that I actually take the sculpted pieces off of the actual Jigglypuff canvas here, the 10-inch round canvas that we're using, and I kind of sit those upside down on a different piece of tinfoil, and then it kind of expedites the dry time a little bit faster because it can dry from the other side, whereas it's making contact with that plastic, and it just takes a really long time for that liquid inside the clay to kind of evaporate and cure it up. Really just kind of get that swooping motion, that little kind of circular swooping motion at the top of the head there where the natural cartoon version of Jigglypuff is. My daughter is telling me as I start to sculpt this here, I'm gonna kind of sculpt in some hair follicles or some hair texture, and she's like, no, it's supposed to be smooth. It's supposed to be smooth. It's really funny. Kind of taking some clay away as I need to, and just building up other areas, and just to kind of keep these things kind of nice, neat, and tidy. I really want to actually paint on the canvas itself so you can tell it's a canvas, but also want to introduce those clay elements just to give it a little bit of life to the canvas, a little bit of kind of abstract look. Well, you're just making a really kind of fun pop culture type of art out of Pokemon. I really do like introducing Pokemon into the YouTube channel in different formats. I've done a bunch of clay, a bunch of canvases, and I want to kind of just keep on with different mediums, introducing Pokemon into the channel. I think it kind of brings people in a little bit. It's really kind of a classic pop culture following, and I really think that it also will allow me to create a bunch of content in the future, just because there's so many Pokemon that we could do. It really allows us to kind of expedite and push our overall sculpting abilities, painting abilities in different ways, because there's tons of Pokemon, and we can sculpt and make them a ton of different ways. So if you just take one Pokemon, for instance, Jigglypuff, you can make a sculpture of her, you can make a canvas painting, you could do like an epoxy something, or make a diorama. You could do a bunch of things that really introduce a lot of different types of art forms just from one subject. And I think that's really kind of fun. Continuously adding the clay here just to kind of build up more texture around the edges. I want to kind of give it kind of like a sculpted hair texture. All right, so at this point, I've really got it really blocked in the way that I like it. And as you can see, I did invest quite a bit of time. Now, of course, I do get to talking to some people on TikTok Live and interacting with them too. So it does slow down the process a little bit. But overall, this video is not sped up a whole lot. I think it's like a 3 times speed or so. Just so that I could really just create a nice piece of content for you guys. Now, this is just the sculpting part of this project. It will be in an entirety of its own playlist on my YouTube channel, maybe like a Jigglypuff only playlist or something similar. So that way, if I do make a painting, that I can introduce that into that playlist as well after this. But if right now we're just doing like a multi-medium type of piece of art here. But it will have all the different videos like the other series do also. So you'll see the actual sculpting video, you'll see me assemble and gesso, then you'll see me kind of paint it out with the assistance of my daughter, who mainly just base coats it, but I'll kind of come in and detail it later. introduce a bunch of the characteristics of it and the tones and the shadows, and kind of bring up the realism a little bit to this overall flat item right now. It's very bleached out, it's very white, it's hard to see all those details that I'm going to have in the overall finished item. And then of course we're going to do a long format painting video, and I'll probably do a time lapse as well, so you can view that in 2 different sessions depending on the time that you have, and if whether you're trying to learn or you just want to kind of see it done, then you can see whichever version of that you'd like. I'll probably try to keep the time lapse version into below 10 minutes if possible for you guys. So make sure you check out the playlist that's linked at the end of this video to see that entirety of the playlist. And then the very last video of this playlist will probably be varnish. I like to introduce a varnish video, so if people want to learn how to varnish, they have a lot of references that can just pop into different videos and different playlists, and they can kind of see how I varnish particular things. And introduce clear coats and things like that. So that playlist is ever growing, and I hope to continuously introduce more videos into that, just to create just a really nice how-to in Liquitex varnishes. I would like to also introduce different types of varnishes in the future, but I've really been hung up on Liquitex because it's been giving me outstanding results on all of my painting subjects. Really starting to work on the arms here now. As you can see, I did cut in one of the ears, and I gave it a little bit of a kind of like a skin texture on the inside of the ear. And then the outside, I'm just giving it a very, very strong brush with a silicone tip tool there, just to give it some marks and some wrinkles along the ear, outside of the ear, so it just gives it a little bit of texture, so we can dry brush later on down the road with different shades of pink and kind of introduce different variations in color. But as you can see, it's really starting to come alive. You can really see the swooping hair right there, that little puff of hair at the top of the head. I think that's kind of signature to Jigglypuff, as well as those 2 ears, and then the very large round eyes, which we'll get to in just a little bit. Here's where I'm applying that texture to the hair. My daughter's like, no, there's no texture on her hair. Well, that's the cartoon version. We're going to introduce this more into a little bit of more realistic tones and grunges and things like that. I want to make my Jigglypuff look like she's been outside for a little bit, and that's just kind of my art style. And I don't want it to look like I just took her off the anime TV show screen and just plopped her onto the wall. I want to introduce my kind of style into it. So she'll have a little bit of browns and dinginess already baked into her when I get done with her. And she'll look like she's been out in the world following Ash, catch them around the world, and then singing to them, putting them to sleep here and there randomly. Kind of like, "Ooh, surprise, I'm here, gonna sing to you and put you to sleep," all random in the middle of the episode. I think that's the most significant thing about Jigglypuff, is just the Jigglypuff in the original TV series. She just really gets angry because no one listens to the end of the song, and then doing so, she doesn't realize that, or maybe she does, that she puts everybody to sleep. And yes, we will be sculpting eventually, maybe later on in this series, a little marker for her to hold. I'll probably make that out of clay or something similar, but that will be kind of exciting, just for her to be able to hold a marker. Maybe I'll incorporate like a magnet or something into that. That'd be kind of cool, to where I can kind of switch it out for different types of markers or different types of items. That'd be kind of cool. Maybe I can make a Thor's hammer for her. Maybe she's up on the wall holding a random Thor's hammer. Just found a Mew Mew just laying on the ground. It's kind of funny. Yeah, we tend to be a little dorky in our studio, just be kind of laid back and fun, but this is just our personality, and I want you guys to have fun just as we do and enjoy the art that we create as much as we do, right? So yeah, we can be kind of dorky, kind of goofy sometimes, but it's all fun, and we really do enjoy creating things together. Alright, so as you can see here, I got most of that ear kind of blocked in around the edges there, and we're going to do the same thing for the other ear, and we're going to remove just like a thin layer of the insert of the ear, and then we're going to texture it the same way as we did the other side. So sit back and enjoy the music, and then we'll be rolling into the next section here in a moment, which will be the hands, the feet, and the eyes. All right, so with the ear pretty much locked in and kind of the way we like it there. It's got the same kind of texture as the other ear. Now you will notice that one ear is slightly narrower and kind of up higher away from the actual circle canvas there. One's kind of shorter and fatter, and that's because of the aspect ratio that we're trying to achieve here. You'll also notice when I make the eyes that one eye will be smaller, and then the reason for that is that the canvas or the Jigglypuff is supposed to be looking or turning up towards the right-hand corner of the canvas. So she's kind of like pivoting upwards. So one eye will be kind of narrower or smaller, and then one will be much larger, and then it will be actually more forward facing towards us. So you got to get the aspect ratio right, and then when I come in to shade it later, I want to make sure that she looks like a circular item, but not just that. I want her to look like an orb or a globe, and get the right shading so that it looks that way. It looks like she's round and kind of just puffy, right? Jigglypuff. And hopefully I can kind of introduce the right pinks and browns and overall just lighter colors of pink into that, and I can kind of achieve that paint scheme in the way that I have it in my head. I'm going to continuously add in more clay to the eye here until I get the overall size that I want, and then once I'm satisfied with that, I want to make sure that I get the edges kind of pressed down a little bit without applying too much pressure to the canvas. I don't want to dent the canvas or warp it or anything like that, but I do want it to be actually kind of smooth and flush with the canvas in some ways. Even if I don't get like a sealed edge on these pieces of clay, I'm cool with that. I don't mind if it warps or bubbles a little bit, as long as it doesn't kind of really just stick up on the edges of the circles away from the canvas. I'm cool with that. But I don't want it to be something that looks out of place when it's all painted. If it's something I can fix with paint, then I will, if there is a defect. But I want to make sure that it looks as good as possible, if possible. You get what I'm saying? I think you get what I'm saying. Trying to get that into a circle there, and then trying to get the aspect ratio right. I do smush that out quite a bit more before final effect there, but you can kind of see that you really start to see the overall face as it's angled up and towards the right. Now it looks out of place a little bit because I'm not going to make the mouth in a 3D clay texture here. What we're going to do is we're going to use actual paint to do that, just because I feel like I want to paint some things onto the canvas, and the mouth would give me that opportunity. I'm applying water to my hand there, and that's actually my painting bucket, so it's got a little bit of dirty paint in there, but that's okay. And we're just going to kind of smooth the eyes out a little bit there, and it kind of just it gets any defects or wrinkles out of the eyes, just because I want those to be glassy looking when I get done with them. I might even come in later with an epoxy glaze after I paint them and just kind of glaze them so they're super shiny in the sunlight or the light coming in through the window or any kind of ambient lighting from above. So I'll kind of introduce that. Maybe I'll even do like a halo video where you can kind of see the glistening eyes and things like that. So that'd be kind of cool. Just getting that right there, and then I can move on to the arms and the feet. All right, so as you can see here, I did take quite a bit of extra time here, and I made sure that that was absolutely perfect. And I actually flattened that out quite a bit, as I said I was going to earlier. It's a little bit less prominent than the one on the right-hand side, but I'm really happy with how they look, and I think that I'm really settled on the aspect ratio of those in conjunction to the hair and the ears at the top of the face there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create some little feet here. Now the feet in the reference photo, I think they're supposed to be kind of like dangling there. They're not supposed to be settling on any kind of dirt texture or ground. I imagine that she's like jumping through the air, like performing or something like that, and then this is the reference that we have. So I want these feet to be kind of like almost flush with the actual canvas itself, but they're going to be attached right to the bottom lip of the canvas, kind of like the side of it. It's not going to wrap around to the back or wrap around to the front or anything like that. So I want to make sure I can kind of get the overall, you know, kind of decent shape that I like. And I'm just going to put little toe textures in each one. So sit back and enjoy the music as we finish out the little toes and feet here. So I'm trying to make sure I taper the back of the foot there just so it doesn't look so flat on the back side. And I will go ahead and bring in the left-hand picture of me just kind of sculpting it on the side as well, because I am still on TikTok Live, remember. So I'm interacting with them as I'm sculpting this. But the great thing about time-lapse is you don't have to worry about the lapses in time when I'm talking to people. We can just really zoom through things. I am going out of my way in this project to actually move quite quickly. I do believe in total I spent no more than 45 to an hour on this. And I think this video by itself runs about 23 minutes, 28 minutes long. So I really did expedite it at least by half, so you can kind of see how fast I'm moving. But I did want to finish this in an easy one session for everybody that was viewing me live on TikTok. At this point, I'm really just kind of nitpicking over the arm there, and then we'll go ahead and go into the next foot here before we roll into the left-hand arm. All right, so we'll go ahead and warm that clay up there, get it nice and workable, and we're going to go ahead and put the other foot on the same way. However, it's just going to be going to the left right there, and the reason for which is in the reference photo, it makes it look like she's jumping up and then to the right, and she's facing the right. So that left-hand foot needs to kind of like be kicking out away and behind in a way. I really don't make it look like it's kind of sinking from behind, but I do kind of give it the same overall direction that it needs. And then I just kind of make it mirror the other foot before rolling into the hand. We're going to go ahead and put those little toenails on there, as I stated before. I may even give my daughter the option to paint those individual colors or something fun, because this is, after all, going to be in her room. So maybe I'll do something kind of like fun with resins or glitters to make it look like Jigglypuff's little toenails are painted or something like that. Maybe I'll let my daughter do that, and I'll just assist by applying like the Mod Podge glue or something. Maybe let her use some glitters or some paints or something like that. I have a bunch of metallics and some color shifting paints from Folk Art, so maybe I'll let her decide on that, since this is, after all, going to be in her room and her piece of art that we're creating. So I like to let her like customize some things like that. I might even let her decide on what color we make the little marker microphone that the Jigglypuff holds, or something like that. So I might do that in a separate video away from the painting video. You'll probably see it in the painting video, but I might keep it separate just so that I can kind of really keep that away from the main content, and I can really enjoy that on my own. And then as my daughter gets older, she can always go back to this, say, and oh, we had such a good time painting those little toenails and this and that, and it's something so simple, but those little simple memories are really what last. And I hope I really am able to look back on some of these memories with my daughter, my son, and my newest daughter in the studio and really enjoy those. I really think that video content, when you're looking back on memories, not that photos are bad, but I think that the video is just so much superior when you're looking back on things. It really lets you immerse yourself into a situation that you were in and really interact with it in a way that pictures just don't allow you to do. Does anybody agree with that? I think that is my view on that. Does anybody else like to take videos more than photos, or are those out there still kind of leaning towards photos for the majority of their memories saved? On a side tangent there, coming back to reality, we're going to go ahead and finish out the right-hand side of the hand. And then we are almost nearing the completion of this awesome video. Now, again, it does take days for this to dry. Yes, it does. And I'm also kind of rotating a tool in her right-hand hand so we can go ahead and apply a marker to that hand. So that's super exciting. And we'll also have to decide on what kind of sketch we want to make on the back of the Jigglypuff. I've been making sketches on all of my canvases, so we'll have to decide what we're going to do with that. Make sure you check out the playlist at the end of this video if you want to see all of the videos that follow this one. This is just number 1 in this entire playlist or series here on YouTube. So I look forward to creating this awesome piece of art with you guys. Again, make sure you smash that subscribe button, hit the like, let me know in the comments if you like this project or what Pokemon you'd like to see next. Otherwise, I hope to see you in the next video of this awesome series. Later, guys.